If you're a leader of a company, you should think about your time as the most valuable asset on your balance sheet. And quite simply, what I mean by that is that whether you're the founder, whether you're the CEO, whether you're a key executive, you're often going to be driving the most important result for a company. And especially the smaller a company is, directly the things that you do every single day are either going to lead to the most important result or not. If you don't hit that most important result, many times the business doesn't make it. And we all get intellectually lazy with how we spend our time. We fill it up with meetings and emails and tasks that give us a sense of completion, but we don't often do the most important thing that is going to move our business the furthest. And it's because the most important thing is the hard thing to do. And so when I advise companies and when I work with companies, I often try to work with the leaders of the companies and really focus them on where exactly do they spend their time. And one of the lessons that I learned that took me a full 6 years of the 7-year journey at Docstoc was anything that's not absolutely critical for the business, that somebody else can do 80% as well as me, I should be outsourcing. So it's my job as the leader and CEO to identify the single most important thing for the business, and I need to take responsibility for that. In many cases, that's going to be fundraising, recruiting, managing the team, setting the strategy. Early on, I, like many other founders, get really involved in everything. You put your hands in product and marketing and business development, and you think that you do this better than everybody else. And even if that's true, it's a completely unscalable way to grow a company. And you become the bottleneck for the growth of your own company. And what I try to do is take away a lot of their assumptions where they'll say, well, I have to be involved in this. I have to be in this meeting. I have to answer these emails. And I just push and challenge those assumptions. I say, well, what if you didn't? Really, what would happen to the company? And unless the answer is that it's going to come to a screeching halt, it's almost best to just pull the cord, jump off that diving board, take the leap. And then the question becomes, where are you going to put your time? Now, to do this as a leader, you have to have built a team of people that you genuinely trust. Because if you have people in these key functions that are going to drop the ball or aren't going to move the company forward, then this paradigm doesn't work. But the most important thing to realize is quite simply that your time as your leader is an asset. It's a commodity. In fact, it should be measured like a bank account, where you should think of the hours that you have in a day, a week, a month, and a year. And where you place those hours is extremely important. And many times what I've come to realize is that when we're in the thick of it as leaders, we can't see the forest for the trees. Meaning we need a coach, we need a board member, we need a mentor, we need somebody that we trust to actually take a look at where we're spending our time and help us figure out where we need to be spending that time differently. And in many cases, the answer is quite simply that we need to be doing less. But the smaller set of things that we're doing, we need to do exceptionally well. We need to make sure that we get those things done. And so a lot of maturing and growing as a leader, as a company, is an identity crisis. It's saying, I'm going to start doing these things that I actually may not gravitate towards and like. But I'm going to do it because I know the things that I should be focused on are the most important for the business. Now that said, there are lots of examples of CEOs that pick a functional area where they're going to stay focused. Mark Zuckerberg and Steve Jobs obviously stay focused in terms of everything in product. They were hands-on and nothing important in the product goes out without them. You've got other CEOs that focus on marketing and branding. They want to control the message. They want to control the tone. They want to control the brand of their company. And I think those are great examples. But what you don't often see is companies at large scales where a leader is going to say that things in multiple disciplines need to run through me. And so I think you can create an identity that I, as the leader, am going to really still own and dive into a functional area, but it can't be every functional area. My own personal biggest growth, as well as I think the biggest leap in the company's scalability, came in year 5 when I brought in a COO for our company who was a previous business partner of mine. And at first he was handling a lot of the day-to-day operations that I was doing, but eventually what I did is I had all of product report into him. And product council meetings that I had traditionally been running really were his responsibility. The product team and engineering team too then started to report into him. And it was a hard transition for me personally to make, because I did the very first wireframe for Docstoc. I picked its colors, I designed its logo. It was like giving birth. And I felt so attached to every single thing in the product that it was very hard for me to give up. But when I did, it really let me start focusing on things that at the time were much more important, meaning our company culture and our company values, because at that time we were approaching about 50 employees. And it was much more important for me, instead of being focused on the details of what our product roadmap shouldn't be and vetoing or green lighting the product decisions people were making, to start really being very disciplined about what our team should be. So who should stay on the team, what new people we needed hired, giving all of my energy and focus externally to those 50 people, making sure that there was a clear focus and direction. And so when I finally committed to bringing on somebody that I could hand over a major area of the company that I had traditionally been very hands-on with, I think a lot of people in the company felt empowered that they could do more. It created an infinite amount more time for me to do other activities, and external activities became very important for the company. And I would say it was the single biggest jump in our company culture and the general happiness level of everybody being in the company.